The Bitcoin ETF, it's here, it's happening, it's been approved. What am I going to talk about now? It's been all I've talked about recently. Guess I'll have to find something new to talk about. But in today's video, we are going to talk more about the Bitcoin ETF. In particular, could we be expecting a 300% price rally after the approval of this Bitcoin ETF? Well, in today's video, I'm going to discuss that, Bitcoin's relationship to gold, everything kind of happening with the Bitcoin ETF scene right now. My name's Lark. Every day I make videos talking about cryptocurrency investing, so if that's a topic you would like to learn some more about, maybe just stay up to date with, then you definitely need to subscribe to the Lark Davis channel. And of course, if you could take a quick second to tap on that thumbs up button, that would be much, much appreciated. And obviously, if you do want to know when I put out a new video, you gotta click on that notification bell. Now let's take a quick look at the charts here. Ever since Bitcoin broke out of the downtrending line here, this one right here, it has just been beautiful, beautiful price action. Let's take off just a couple of these lower support lines just to clean the chart up a little bit while we're looking at it here. But man, that breakout, every time we break out on one of these major, major downtrends like this, it just goes woo. Very, very exciting times. Currently, Bitcoin is around 4% away from cracking a new all-time high, which is obviously very, very exciting. We've had a nice breakout past the resistance around $58,000. We've had a nice breakout past the resistance around $60,000. In fact, this weekly close right here, this candle is the biggest weekly close that Bitcoin has ever had. Very, very nice. Of course, you can see the last one was back here right around $60,000, which formed our key area of price resistance that Bitcoin needed to close above. Now look, volatility, of course, is a very typical thing. You can see right here, we've already had a breakout, a retest of the previous resistance, flipping that into support now. We saw a lot of buying pressure here. Bitcoin yesterday dipped down from $62,000 all the way down to $58,000. Well, let's call it $59,000. Market stepped right up. People are very, very bullish right now. Pushed it right back over 60K. At this point, I think the likelihood that we see a new all-time high for Bitcoin in the very, very near future is a strong one. We're only $3,000 away at this point. It's absolutely crazy. Some people out there still saying it's a bear market. It's not a bear market. This is a bull market. This is a bull market. This is the double pump scenario. We are so reminiscent in terms of our timings and the way the market structure looks to 2013 as an example. Of course, the end of 2017 also very reminiscent. I know. History never repeats, but it does rhyme. Why do charts rhyme? Well, because humans are behind every single one of these little bars. Every one of these candles is a story of a ballet of human emotions playing out in a financial sense. It's beautiful. Poetry, the markets. I love charts. They're amazing. Of course, I'm going to love the chart even more when it cracks over $65,000 in a few days' time. And man, oh man, we are so freaking close to that happening. Once that happens, I would expect the market to take off even farther, getting people very, very bullish, moving to price discovery. The media cycle will automatically flip bullish. Oh my gosh, it's all so exciting. Bitcoin, new all-time highs. Everybody starts rushing in to try to catch the train before it leaves the station, gets up to $100,000. Although, just keep in mind, this is resistance. This is resistance at $65,000. We may not break that the first time we try to get past it. We could rally up to 65K, see a correction down back to 60K, 58K. You know, expect and anticipate 10, 15, 20% dump daily candles because they happen in the market. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen in the next few days. We might just cut through that resistance like butter, but just keep in mind. That resistance area, a lot of people might start trying to take profits there, so just something to keep in mind. Obviously, I have just been kind of chilling on my Bitcoin positions at the moment, as I have been saying previously. Last time I was buying Bitcoin was around, I think, $45,000 approximately, so just kind of chilling on my spot buys at the moment, but I know a lot of people will have gone long in the market here, and you can see this price action here is a good reminder of why not to use too much leverage. If you are over leveraged, you might have got rinsed out here, which would be a crying shame. If you're using leverage to long and to short crypto, keep it low, man. 3x, 5x, 10x at a max. Really, you only need probably 3 or 5x to do super, super well trading wise in the market. And by the way, if you do want to be trading some Bitcoin, some Ethereum, Polkadot, Solana, Chainlink, whatever your fancy might be, you should definitely get yourself an account over on Femex. It is a great exchange for trading futures. They also have great spot markets with 0% fees, which is obviously great if you're doing a lot of trading. If you use the link down below to start your account, you'll get 10% off of your trading fees and up to $1,200 in trading bonuses. So go ahead and check that out if you are a trader. Now let's talk about the Bitcoin ETF, man. It's here. It's happening. And look, we're not going to celebrate this too much, as I've been saying for a long time. A Bitcoin ETF backed by CME futures. It's not a great product. It's kind of a garbage product, to be honest, because every single dollar worth of CME Bitcoin futures are backed by nothing. It's just paper garbage. Paper garbage just trades on the price of Bitcoin. There's no actual Bitcoin coming into the market. We want to see, of course, a spot Bitcoin ETF getting launched, but look, Bitcoin futures ETF, that is what we have right now. The Pro Shares Bitcoin futures ETF is the one which has been given the green light to launch next week. Guess it's this week for us here in New Zealand and future land. For a lot of you guys watching, it may still be, of course, late night, America time, for example. So it'll be tomorrow for you. But yes, this week, Monday, we will see the launch of Bitcoin futures ETFs trading on U.S. markets, the biggest equity markets in the world, accounting for more than 50% of all the global equity markets. They now have a Bitcoin ETF product. It's a junk one, but it exists. It is a Bitcoin ETF product. Gary Gensler, he's like, why there's a smiling picture of Gary? He's just like, ha. My Wall Street masters are so happy with this guy. It's funny because the SEC's out here trying to say, oh, we're here to protect investors. If they were really trying to protect investors, why would they launch a Bitcoin futures ETF and not a Bitcoin spot ETF? Those two things do not compute, because that's not what the SEC is there for. Well, they're there to protect somebody, but it ain't you. Now, just to debunk a bit of rumor that was going around, a lot of people had also started saying that the Valkyrie Bitcoin strategy ETF had been approved. It has not been approved. A lot of people were sharing this notification here, which literally just said that the NASDAQ exchange, this is a notice from the NASDAQ, not from the SEC. NASDAQ does not approve ETFs to trade. That's the SEC's job. But what the NASDAQ said is that they have approved the Bitcoin strategy ETF by Valkyrie to be able to trade on their platform. Now the SEC has to say yes to that. So they have to approve the Valkyrie ETF for that to be able to happen. They're just setting the framework, anticipating that they are going to see the approval of multiple more Bitcoin futures ETFs. Remember, we still have Invesco, we still have Valkyrie, we still have a bunch of Bitcoin futures specific ETFs coming up that will probably be approved in the market as well. So we'll keep an eye out for those. Also interesting today, the New York Stock Exchange filed for a Bitwise Bitcoin ETF. So much like NASDAQ saying, hey, we are approving this, right? The New York Stock Exchange is now applying for the Bitwise Bitcoin ETF to be able to be traded on their platform. Now that's an actual spot Bitcoin ETF. This is the product that we want. There's about 6 or 7, maybe 7 at this point, Bitcoin futures ETF applications, plus, of course, one that's already been approved in with the SEC. There's about 14 or 15, maybe even 16 now, Bitcoin spot ETF applications. That's the real product that the market actually wants. The Bitcoin futures ETFs, only Wall Street wants that garbage. Regular investors don't want that garbage. Most of the funds, they don't want that garbage because they can just go buy real Bitcoin. Why would they screw around with a Bitcoin futures ETF? It's a product that is not very awesome for the market. It gives too much power to the CME, too much power to Wall Street over the price of Bitcoin. The CME gap. You guys remember everyone talking about the CME gap all the time? Just wait now. It's going to be just a CME gap obsession. And why is that the case? Because now with these Bitcoin futures ETFs backed by CME Bitcoin futures, it's going to bring a lot more money and thus a lot more power to the CME, which is not what we want. It's not what we want. We want a spot Bitcoin ETF that every time somebody invests into that ETF product, they have to buy more real Bitcoin from the market and dump it into their products. That's what we want. That is a good product. That's what most people actually want to see come out. Nice to see the New York Stock Exchange trying to get that on their platform, so that's a positive thing. We also saw Grayscale. They're planning to file for a spot Bitcoin ETF early this week, next week. You know, for anyone who's still in Sunday zone, we're in Monday, New Zealand, land of the future. But this is a great thing. If this passes, remember, Grayscale, I think, has 600,000 some Bitcoin, give or take 10, 20, 50, 100,000, somewhere around that range. That's a big, big number. What these guys want to do is to exchange their current Bitcoin trust, which trades at like a 20% discount, by the way, to the spot price of Bitcoin. They want to exchange their trust shares and convert it into a Bitcoin ETF. Be huge, huge if it happens. So definitely watching for that story to continue to develop. But it's nice to see them going after the product that people actually want. Remember, nobody really wants a Bitcoin futures ETF. Everybody really wants the Bitcoin spot ETF that's backed by actual Bitcoin. Now, what would that do, a Bitcoin spot ETF? Because look, a Bitcoin futures ETF, it doesn't actually have a lot of impact on the market. Well, it does give Wall Street a way to short Bitcoin, which is not really what you want, but it does give them that, so there's this to consider. But a spot Bitcoin ETF, that is the holy grail of ETF products, if you will. It's what we actually want. And my only hope with a Bitcoin futures ETF is that it acts as the gateway drug to bring in a Bitcoin spot ETF, because the impact of that is going to be massive. Now, this is the CEO of CryptoQuant.com. He said the gold market cap before an ETF in 2004 was $1 trillion. After the ETF, fast forward a few years, 16 years, we are at $11 trillion for the total market cap of gold. That's $10 trillion of demand that primarily came from an inflation hedge. Yes, there is some industrial use case, of course, within that for gold, but most of that is investors piling into ETF products, piling into gold strategy products, buying bullion for long-term wealth preservation, etc., etc. The market cap of Bitcoin before we have an ETF product launch, well, a spot ETF product launch, hopefully still going to come in 2021, just a little more than $1 trillion right now. We're moving faster now. 2004, things are moving a lot slower in terms of adoption and the rates at which the markets move up and things like that. So I would say that if we get a Bitcoin spot ETF approved, we're going to see this happen, but in a much shorter time frame. It's not going to take us 16 years to see the price of Bitcoin rally to incredible highs. So this is a 363% gain that we saw come through here for the price of gold. after the first gold ETF launched in the USA here in November 2004. 363% price rally, just to the peak of the first one there. Of course, the price of gold has gone higher since then. Pretty incredible stuff. But that's a spot ETF. The first gold ETF product that was launched, it was a spot ETF, right? So it's a spot ETF. So that means that when they actually went out and bought this, I think it was SDPRs, the ticker name for the gold ETF that was launched back then, that was physically backed by gold. So every time somebody bought $100 worth of that product, they would go out and buy, not exactly, but they'd go out and buy $100 of gold. So all of it was backed, is the point. All of it was backed by gold, rise in demand. They'd buy more gold, issue out more of the ETF products, more people come in and buy them, et cetera, et cetera. So this is what we want to see happen with Bitcoin. Get this sort of virtuous cycle going on where we have people coming in, demanding spot Bitcoin ETFs, as soon as the SEC, of course, allows for that to happen. These guys then going out, buying Bitcoin off the open market, locking it up in their vaults, issuing out the paper contracts for people to come and buy. That is going to bring so much liquidity into the market because it's a real market impact in a way that the Bitcoin futures that are launching this week are just not. They're junk. They're junk. They're junk. The market's bullish on that junk, and I understand why the market's bullish on that junk. Still pretty exciting, and of course everybody hopes this will lead to a Bitcoin spot ETF. But it does not going to have the price impact that a Bitcoin spot ETF will have, because that actually takes real Bitcoin from the markets and allows monetary access for a wide range of pension funds and different people who just don't want to get off their brokerage account. They're stuck on TD Ameritrade, and that's where they want to buy a Bitcoin ETF at. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of people who want to do that. So I'm looking forward to the announcement of a Bitcoin spot ETF being announced. That could kick off the old super cycle. We hope, anyway. Final bit for today. This is slash your question for today, but this is a funny story. A Brazilian guy bought his daughter 1 Bitcoin when she was born. It's about $900 or so back then. This little girl, because she's, a baby, and she can't sell her Bitcoin, because babies can't sell Bitcoin, guys. Come on. What are we talking about here? Anyway, this little girl has probably outperformed most people in the market. She's seen her Bitcoin go from like $900 up to, $62,000 at the time of recording this video. Some pretty good gains, man. All you had to do was buy it and hold it and not sell it because you're a baby. Easy. Our big mistake as investors was not being a baby. Anyway, the question for today, funny story for you anyway. The question for you for today, what single cryptocurrency investment has given you the biggest percentage gain? Let me know down below with the name of the coin and the percentage gains that you have had from that coin. Curious to know your answer in the comments section. Thanks so much for watching today's video, and peace out till next time.